Hi, friends. Hello, hello. How are you? Good morning. This is Marina Shepelsky with my weekly Friday immigration news with me, with Marina Shepelsky. And we have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be super interesting because there's been some major, systemic changes with USCIS and with immigration this week. And I didn't get a chance to cover it last week because it didn't happen last week yet. But this week, I definitely want to talk about the new public charge rule. So, just to explain what public charge rule means, basically, since immigration laws were even created, the immigration authorities here wanted to give people a chance who are citizens or green card holders to bring their family members here. But they said, we are going to create this immigration stream, right? But we don't want to have to support all these new immigrants. We want these immigrants to support themselves. We don't want the new immigrants to just come in and go straight to Medicaid or Medicare or get welfare, right? So basically, they said, look, we are going to let you come in, but your relative, your sponsor relative, has to do an affidavit of support for you to show that you will never, ever ask for anything from the US government. So studies have shown that 1 in 5 immigrants were afraid to ever use Medicaid or any like food stamps or anything like that because they didn't want to lose a future chance to get a green card. And as a result, a lot of people went without proper medical insurance and so on. And then when Trump came in the last president, the last term, he was really, really attacking this public charge rule thing. And he even created new forms and like new, even stricter rules about this public charge rule. So now the new immigrant had to get into all like the background and if they can support themselves or their education and their job and all these things that really had nothing to do with family immigration, why they were even coming in here. So this public charge thing has been a big problem and something that I get a question about almost in every single immigration consultation, right? People are really worried about, taking anything from the government, from the US government, so that in the future they can get a green card, even if they're not eligible right now, even if they've been like deported, right? So the Biden administration is changing the law. They're not doing a proclamation or presidential, order. They're actually changing the law on the books with a more humane public charge rule. And the main thing about that is they said that if you have Medicaid, as long as it's not for like long-term rehab or nursing home care, you will get a green card. You don't have to worry about it. If you have free children's insurance, or if you have children or other family members that used Medicaid, like your dependents, right? Your spouse, you will still get a green card. If you use SNAP benefits, like that's food and nutritional assistance, or like any immunization help, like if you got free vaccines or anything like that from the government, you will still get a green card. They took a lot of things out of the list of things that make people ineligible. So now regular Medicaid use is okay. You'll still get a green card. Especially, think about elderly people. I've been telling people who bring their elderly parents, people over 60, who always have medical problems, no matter where they live. You cannot get Medicaid for them because you will be violating your affidavit of support. That's no more. And that starts December 23, 2022, unless somebody sues them. And again, these states like Texas, Arizona has been bringing lawsuits, Florida, against the federal government for implementing these rules, because these rules always fall on the state to pay for. You understand? Medicaid is a federal program, but the state and the city often sponsors people for this insurance. The money comes out of the budget of the state. for Medicaid and other free insurance. So states can still bring a lawsuit against the federal government saying, hey, we don't have the budget for all these new people. We only have the budgets for the people who live already in the United States. If you're going to make all these new immigrants go on free insurance, you're going to burden us. You're going to overwhelm us. We don't have the money for this. This could happen, and I could see this coming. But for now, it's not happening. For now, we're saying good news. It's going to be a new law. Medicaid now is going to be okay for you to use, and you will still get a green card. Now I can start saying hello to my friends here. I will be answering questions in the end, so we're going to wait. I just want to say some hellos. And the dream says good morning here. Hello, good morning, Mani Kumar. Good morning, my loyal viewers who watch every week. Any updates on VAWA? My also loyal viewer, Kursoon, is asking. I don't have anything new on VAWA right now. It's still taking about 26 months. 26 months to get approved for VAWA alone. Now, if you have a VAWA with a green card, we add another 6-7 months to that. So approximately 3 years to be approved for VAWA green card from the beginning to end, and longer if you had like an old deportation or something like that. I'm going to try to do this on Instagram as well, because I haven't done one on Instagram in the longest time. Okay, I'm going to go live on Instagram with answering questions. All right. One moment. Putting in the phone charger for my Instagram. Hello, hi everyone. This is Marina Shepelsky. I'm an immigration attorney, introducing myself again from New York. And today I'm here on my YouTube Live and Instagram Live answering people's questions about immigration. And I already started with the good news about the public charge rule, that it's eased up. It's more humane now. If you have Medicaid, if your family members used Medicaid, if your family members and you used SNAP, nutritional, like food assistance from the government, if you used subsidized housing, or you have subsidized housing, like an apartment in a project that's paid partially by the city, or if you had immunization help, if you had free health insurance at any time or like very low cost, you are okay to get a green card. It's no longer a block to you getting a green card, and that's going to start December 23, 2022, unless somebody from the states, like the state of Texas, sues Biden and tells Biden you cannot do that, because at the end of the day, Medicaid is paid through the state and the state programs, and they might say we don't have the money for all these immigrants, you know? Okay, so I'm going to start answering questions. If you are on Instagram, you could write the question on your screen here. If you are on YouTube, it's the same thing. Write a comment, or if you're on Facebook, write the comment, and I'm going to see it in my comments here, and I'm going to start answering them while I'm still going to talk about some news. So this is a question from Christofina. Christofina says, hi, my husband adopted 2 kids back home. He has been living here in the United States for 13 years. Now USCIS sent him a request for evidence to prove that the kids living with us. What are they requesting is proof of school documents that show his name or lease agreement that proves that the children live with us at the same address for the last 2 years. Do you think it's possible that they will come? I think so. The request for evidence, it doesn't mean they're going to deny it. They just want more paperwork. It looks like they want to help you. So adoption filed, I don't know if you filed for the orphan petition or the I-130 petition for them as your children, as adopted children, but as your children legally. And the RFE is asking for proof that they lived in your custody for 2 years. I would have to ask you to do a consultation with our office. My number is on the screen, 718-769-6352 on the bottom here. And we ask you to, just call us, set up a consultation. I think there's a chance to get this approved. It's just a request for evidence. It's not even a notice of intent to deny. In other words, they don't want to deny you. They're just asking the questions and they want more paperwork. And Christofina says, talk about the Liberian DED. I have a friend who qualified, but she doesn't have much information in how long is the DED work permit processing time. Can she apply for the parole? So the Liberian DED, one second, I'm going to look at the waiting time, okay? First of all, she has to show that she was present in the United States. This is deferred enforcement for Liberians. She has to show that she was in the United States through, one second, I'm going to look up the date for sure. Okay, so you had to be present in the United States from Liberia on June 30th, 2022 and before, but also physically present in the United States since May. So actually, you had to be here already on May 20th, 2017. Anybody who's from Liberia here since May 20th, 2017 and before, and obviously is here now, can now apply for the work permit. Advanced parole, I'm not sure about. We'll see because things are changing right now. It says here that you are allowed to get an authorization to travel outside of the United States. There's a special place where you mail it to. The form is the usual form for the travel document, and you have to make sure you tell them your category for advanced parole is this Liberian DED. So your friend had to be here as of May 20th, 2017, first of all. Let me look at the processing times. So I go to uscis.gov and I look up processing times for work permit. You wanted to know about the work permit, okay? I choose form I-765. I'm telling you what I'm doing right now. Then I look on based on all other, I'm going to say, I don't see Liberian DED as a specific category. So I guess you just say all other applications for employment authorization. And for example, let's do National Benefit Center, because when you file for the work permit, they assign you to one of the service centers, all right? Let's say your friend gets with this National Benefit Center, right? And it's about 9 months. But if her work permit goes to Nebraska Service Center, it's 5.5 months. So it depends. And the advanced parole is currently taking 10 to 11 months. So that's the answer to your question right here. Okay. Do Jafar on YouTube is asking, hi, can I do VAWA if my wife is making life hard for me but not allowing me to go to school and do my work? She hates school. She doesn't like that he's working without a work permit. She wants him to wait for his work authorization. Sometimes she lies that she's sick so that he doesn't go to school. She's not letting him live his life, work, go to school. She wants him to herself. She's a controlling person. And he's really confused what to do. I think you need to talk to us, schedule a consultation, 718-769-6352, and just let us know what's happening with you, and we can help you, because this is something we do. But you need proof of abuse here, right? So you need proof. You need to prove that you're being abused. You need to prove that she's mistreating you. And the way to prove this is to go to a psychologist. Even if you don't have work permits, even if you don't have police reports, 1 second, turn on do not disturb. I forgot to turn on the not disturb on my phone, and now the phone is ringing and interrupting my YouTube live. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. You have to have proof of abuse, and we do that by asking you to go to a psychologist and do therapy and telling a therapist how this makes you feel. How do you feel? How do you feel when this happens, right? How do you feel when she keeps you home from school? That's abuse. If you subjectively feel bad and abused by this, that's fine. We can help you, but you need to start to go to a psychologist and set up a consultation with us to have like all the steps. And his question is, can I still transfer to VAWA after getting my work authorization? Yes, you can. So I understand she filed a family case, a marriage case for you already. You can transfer the marriage case to VAWA and keep your work permit and advance parole. So yes, absolutely, you have a chance, but I would also go to a therapist. Here is a question on Instagram. Candy Rain is asking, can emotional and verbal abuse from a lawful permanent resident, a green card holder spouse, help me with relief? Oh, we are not married. A few messages and evidence of abuse. If you're not married, we cannot do VAWA. This type of thing doesn't work for VAWA. VAWA is only for people who are in an actual legal marriage. Now, even if your spouse said they're single and free to marry, and this has happened with us, turns out they're not divorced from someone else yet, that still works for VAWA. But you and him or her had to go to like a city hall and register your wedding, or even if you had a religious ceremony, but the rabbi or the imam or whoever registered your marriage certificate with the state for you, that works for VAWA. If you're not married but you're being abused by someone, you could report them to the police, and if it's really bad abuse and the police arrest them, you can get a U visa by being a witness for the government, for the police, for the district attorney. That's how you can get a green card through that situation. But if it's just verbal and emotional, you just block them, and that's it. That's not going to get you a green card. They're not your spouse. All right. Just waving to some people who are watching me here. Okay. Next one is from Fode. Thanks so much for your hard work, Marina. Can you say something about the I-730 petition to unify with your family members who are overseas when you got asylum? You get asylum, you file for your spouse and kids through Unification for Asylum program. He got approved, or she, I don't know if Fade is a woman or man. I got approved. Oh, it's a woman. She got approved in 2019, received asylum, applied for her husband I-730 petition in 2020 in July. And since then, they haven't heard anything from them. I'm going to look up the processing times, but I happen to know that anything related to asylum is so backed up right now. I-730, if you were in Nebraska, processing service center is 11 and a half months. That's definitely been more than that for you. And Texas Service Center, a lot more. So I'm going to presume that you were in the Texas Service Center, because the Texas Service Center for these I-730 refugee asylee relative petitions are taking at least 26 months. In reality, it's closer to like 3 years. So that is why you're so delayed. Now, you can just go to the USCIS site and make a case inquiry to find out what's going on with your case. You can definitely do that. And if it's showing that based on your specific, service center, your time should have been less, you can make an inquiry. They'll take an electronic inquiry. So you could just, say case inquiry and put in your case number for the I-730 and all that information, and you should hear back from them. All right. Okay. Karsoon is asking, since the work permit EAD is automatically extended by a year and a half, What about advanced parole? Advanced parole is not advanced, and you have to file for a new one. Advanced parole is not automatically extended. You cannot travel with an expired advanced parole. They might not let you back. The dream is asking someone with H-1B, who can they add to it? For example, parents, only spouse and children under 21. Ashkan is asking from Armenia, probably, can you provide me an email address to expedite the request for USCIS? There is no such email address. To expedite with USCIS, you call them and you start a expedite request. So when you call them, you have to say, I'm calling to expedite a request, like a work permit or whatever case you have pending. I'm calling with an expedite request. They'll ask you the questions they have to ask you. And if they want to have you email or mail them things, they'll tell you what to do. They just have a regular mail address, right? So you could go to USCIS website and you could Google USCIS expedite request. There's a page on USCIS website and it says how to make an expedite request. And on the bottom, they explain, like they go through the whole thing. They explain to you what this whole process is, and then they tell you what to do with your case. And there is no address actually, and there's no email anywhere. So you just have to start it on the phone, and on the phone you can ask them where to mail it, or like you could Federal Express or DHL it to them in writing the proofs for your expedite request. They want documents to prove why you should be expedited, right? And usually it's like a medical letter, or if you work for the government, or COVID fighting or something like that. It's really hard to expedite something right now. How long does it take VAWA work permit? If you just filed VAWA by itself, it takes as long as it takes to do VAWA approval, 26 months. If you file for work permit based on VAWA with a green card application, and some people are not eligible to do both, so maybe you just filed VAWA, then it's 26 months. But if you filed with a green card, it takes about 10 to 11 months. Can I apply for adjustment of status? Is asking Yasser on YouTube. Can he apply for adjustment of status? He had to do a Department of Labor employment case number. My lawyer filed for me on April 30th, 2001 under 245I. So you can do adjustment of status with amnesty, but you need to have a family petition with an immediate visa available to you, or a work petition. Then you can file for adjustment of status and use that prior to April 30th, 2001 to 45 amnesty to forgive the fact that maybe you entered without a visa or you've been here unlawfully all this time. The dream says, thank you, my longtime watcher here. Aldu is asking on YouTube that he has a question for a friend who went to a marriage interview and lied by saying he knew his joint sponsor, and afterwards he said he does not know him. His case was denied for lying. Can USCIS forgive him? It's a really tough situation because marriage fraud denials are like the worst thing that could happen to you. If you get a crime, there's waivers for that. But there's no waiver for marriage fraud denial, and marriage fraud prevents you from being able to file for almost anything else. And you look like a liar for asylum. You're banned from doing another marriage case. Even VAWA is going to look really bad, and you're going to have to try really hard to prove this. So I don't know. Your friend should do a consultation with us. And that's it. Now, Ashkan is saying she already called USCIS and tried to expedite, and I guess it didn't work. It didn't work. There's nothing you can do right now. You just have to wait. Okay, so as far as YouTube goes. Oh, okay, there's more questions from John. He says, good morning. Any updates on asylum seekers for Christ's sake? No updates for Christ or anybody else's sake. No updates. It's just super delayed. Very sad. I'm really upset about it, as are many of my colleagues and clients, but what can you do? Okay. So Ashen is saying she wants an expedite request because of the war in Armenia with Azerbaijan. Um, it's not going to really help you unless like you're dying or somebody in your family's dying and you have that proof directly. Just the war, I get it. Like I totally understand, and I understand what's happening in Armenia, and I acknowledge that it's terrible. I feel for you. But unless you have some medical documents that like you need to be sending, you need to work and be sending money back to Armenia because somebody's dying, God forbid, or like injured or something, maybe. But it's really difficult to expedite. El Paso is saying, hello, for asylum application, if you apply for work authorization for the first time after 150 days, is the waiting period as long as those who renew work authorization every 2 years? I'm going to tell you right now, the waiting period is the same for everyone because it's the same people who printed. But there's a trick to filing for renewal. For renewal, it's faster when you apply online. People who are filing online for renewals of work authorization, it's much quicker than your first time applying. And the first time you usually have to apply by paper, not online. So the processing times for work authorization, that's usually my most common question here. And it seems like it's pretty easy to check for yourself. You go to check case processing times. You go to form category is your form I-765. Based on pending asylum is based on, it's C9. No, I'm sorry, it's C8. Based on pending asylum application C8. You choose your field office. Let's say it's Texas. Texas is taking 13 months to get a work permit. If you're the Nebraska Service Center, Nebraska is 11 and a half months. So it looks like your first application is going to take at least a year, something like that. Okay, so I had somebody requesting, okay, Navjeet is asking on Instagram, Marina, do you know what supporting documents you need for work visa? For work visa, you need documents about the employer company, their last tax statement, like their tax return for last year, their profit and loss statement for this year, description of the company, explaining the job that they're hiring you for, explaining why they need somebody like that, explaining why they cannot find anybody in America who does that. For you, your education, your resume, your transcript of classes, how does your education and experience tie in with this job and with this company? All right, we did this. Victor's asking on YouTube, hi, good morning. I'm an F4 and want to change my residency or home address without changing it on the DS-260 application because I'm documentary complete. How do I change it? Thanks, from Victor Alou. You have to email the embassy if you're applying. So if you're applying from overseas, you got to email the embassy saying you have a new address. The UI champ says, can you please let us know what to do if you think is that will F4 immigration India is going to move or not? And if not, when can you predict the time? I don't think it's going to move anytime soon. I think it will move a little bit the way it's been moving. Maybe a month or two, not much. I am Iraq is saying that she has an approved I-130, and this is on YouTube. She has an approved I-130 family petition since 2013. Then she filed for VAWA in January 2022 with adjustment of status. How soon will I get my green card if the I-360 VAWA is approved? So the VAWA will take you 2.5 years. If you filed in January 2022, we're saying June, July of 2024. After that, it's another 6 to 8 months for your green card to be approved. So I always tell people 3 years to 3 years and 2 months. So we're talking about like winter of 2025, the year 2025, or maybe a little before, but approximately there. Now, Royal is asking how many percent of chance of VAWA prima facie to get approval. It's not related at all. And it's hard to say how many percent chance, because the prima facie only means that the basics that you have to give for VAWA were included. That means the police clearance, the marriage certificate, you had a small story of some kind about the abuse, and you included some joint documents. Now, when somebody is going to sit down and read it, then it will be decided. But I can tell you what the percentage of VAWA approval rates percentage. I'm going to tell you it's pretty high. It's about 75% approval. So out of 100 cases for VAWA, 75 get approved. So that's your percentage. If you're looking for percentage, I'm telling you, you have a 75% chance of getting approved. I'm telling you right now. That's great. That's a lot more than half. If you can show the abuse, if you can show that you lived with the abuser, you have joint paperwork, you have a police clearance, you have 75% of getting approved. So it's great. All right, on this note, I'm going to say peace out and have a great weekend. If you have any questions, my phone number is here on the bottom, 718-769-6352. It's in my bio on Instagram. If you're looking for my phone number, you can Google and find us online, Law Offices of Marina Shepelsky or Shepelsky Law Group. We have a great group of attorneys who are here to give you a consultation. I meant to mention this. They already reached the mid-year cap for work visas for this financial year 2023. So I think by like winter time, most of the work visas for the financial year 2023, the quota will be finished. And Royal is saying, I'm amazing, Marina. Thank you. Thank you. So I wish all of you good luck, some patience, and waiting for things. I know you guys are waiting for many, many things to be decided, not even approved. I know that. And I wish for you to just have patience, faith, and belief that everything will work out for the best. That's how I operate. And I wish all of you to have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.